Constants constitute continuity.
Hello and welcome to my channel. Hi, I'm Gelato, and for the longest time I've loved fashion, makeup, artistry, and if I ever had the budget, I would dedicate my entire life savings to attending the Met Gala, because your girl loves dressing on a theme. Now this year, I'm not invited, but I'm going to do the next best thing, and I'm going to take you guys on a little trip down memory lane and look through the past 7 Met Galas. Welcome to the Met Diaries.
The theme of the 2020 Met Gala was about time, fashion, and duration, in honor of the 150th anniversary of the Met. Now, if you don't remember any of the red carpet looks, you'd be fine, because the red carpet was actually cancelled due to COVID. Andrew Bolton, the head curator, took inspiration from the 1992 film Orlando, which itself was inspired by Virginia Woolf's novel Orlando: A Biography. The film and novel are both about the main character, Orlando, a favorite of Queen Elizabeth I, by whom is commanded to never wither and live forever. Bolton said, "What I like about Woolf's version of time is the idea of a continuum. There's no beginning, middle, or end. It's one big fat middle. I always felt the same about fashion. Fashion is present." Furthermore, the theme was fleshed out by taking Henry Bergson's principle of la durée or duration. Bergson was a French philosopher of vitalism who disagreed with the leading view of his era of scientific time, which focused on the mechanics and physics of time. He believed there was a difference between lived time, which we experience, and scientific time, which he expressed in his doctoral thesis, Time and Free Will, an essay on the immediate data of consciousness. He argued that the misperception of time was that it is a logical succession of separate spatial constructs, an infinite flow of movement, but in reality, it is actually fixed, still frames that succeed each other. In essence, Bergson's view of time and duration is that constants constitute continuity. Say that 5 times fast. Constants constitute continuity. The intention of the exhibition was to trace back the timeline of fashion, with there being 2 galleries situated to resemble a clock face, representing 60 minutes of fashion. Each minute consisted of a pair of garments, with the first one, the timeline minute, embodying the linearity of time, and the second one, the interruption minute, the cyclical nature of time. The relationship between these pairs of garments was what represented Bergson's duration concept. Through changing different variables such as motif, pattern, texture, and shape, the minutes communicated the collaboration between past and present that grants us fashion. Every single item was black, except for the last piece at the end, which was a white Viktor & Rolf Spring-Summer 2020 haute couture dress. The idea behind this was that with the color being the same, it would be easier to see differences in the silhouette of the clothes as time progressed, and the juxtaposition of the white final piece would display the future of fashion. The Viktor & Rolf dress was made out of recycled patchwork pieces, representing sustainability and community in the future of fashion. First up, on the left, the timeline minute is a 1928 American evening dress, and on the right is the interruption minute, which is a 1997 Spring-Summer John Galliano dress. These minutes convey the changing interpretations of the value of modesty over time, with the increase in sheerness. The older dress on the right has some sheerness but is hidden with the draping and line work. This is reflective of the dress's function as an evening dress rather than for appearances. Moving to the right, the salient element of the dress is the sheerness, which is now complemented by the line work and draping as opposed to being hidden by it. In the newer piece, these elements now work together for a new purpose, to produce a sexier and some may say more empowering look. Next up, on the left, the timeline minute is Issey Miyake's Spring-Summer 1994 Flying Saucer dress, and accompanying it on the right is the interruption minute, Mariano Madrazo's 1930s Delphos dress. These minutes, whilst may not be a direct portrayal of a progression of values in society over time, certainly compare the polishedness and simplicity of women's clothing. This is potentially the element that portrays the evolution of fashion following societal shifts. For example, the 1930s Delphos dress follows the typical boxy silhouette and design of its predecessor, the 20s, indicative of this minute's role as representing time as cyclical, but with the addition of a belt that hugs the waist and introduces a more curvy shape, aka the interruption. Then, on the left, the flying saucer dress shows time progressing linearly, as the rise of science fiction and a global obsession with space and time travel drives changes in fashion such that the overall structure of the Delphos dress is preserved within the flying saucer dress, but with more whimsy and innovation, both hallmarks of the future. Finally, on the left is the Timeline Minute, which is a spring-summer Victor and Rolf ensemble piece, and on the right is the Interruption Minute, which is a 1939 evening dress. These minutes depict the timelessness of iconography, with images that can transcend their original meanings through the bow motif. Looking at the evening dress on the right, the bow motif is the interruption, as prints were becoming more popularized. However, it is worth noting that in this time period, when art movements like social realism and Art Deco aim to deliver a degree of realism in accordance with social norms, the bow still represents femininity and softness. Very cutesy, very mindful, and very demure. Then on the left, the Timeline Minute shows not only the evolution of fashion, but the evolution of the meaning of the bow icon. Firstly, the garment has transformed from a simple light dress to a dark pantsuit with the salient asymmetrical bow details. Now the bow is associated with holding this garment together, which relates to the linear progression, or in this case, a decay, of societal values represented through iconography.